This is going to be the east of Birmingham, northeast of Birmingham. I am not hearing much on this scanner at all. I'm not hearing much on this scanner at all. I don't even know if this is covers the counties we've been asking about anyway. Let me see if there's a different scanner for that. Shelby County. Oh, this is the right scanner. I'm just not hearing much on it. Oh, hold on. I do have the scanner, the Alabama State Trooper scanner, that covers Shelby County, which is where Pelham is. But I'm not hearing anything on it. So I'll keep an ear out. But I'm not hearing anything on it. Okay, so we're covering these tornado warnings, and just to give you some I want to give you some background about what we're expecting today. This is Agenda Free TV. We are bringing you live tornado outbreak coverage. Quick thank you to Mary Arnold. I really appreciate your support, Mary Arnold. Thank you, Mary. Let's just give you a summary of what's going on today and what we're expecting. Oh, thank you also, Martin Fierro, Tony Rayner, and Denise Fredrickson. Denise is one of our moderators, too. Thank you for the Facebook stars, Martin Fierro, Tony Rayner, and Denise Fredrickson. So let's just actually look at what the National Weather Service says about today. Let's look at what they say, okay? This is the particularly dangerous situation. Tornado watch here. Hang on. See, it says, let me show you this. Particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch. That's the one tornado watch, meaning tornadoes are possible in this area.
A couple of troopers ahead on those wrecks on top of the mountain there.
I think I'm going to turn off this scanner because I'm not hearing much on this scanner right now. So I'm going to turn off the scanner. We can always turn on a scanner later. Let's look at what they say about this. The Storm Prediction Center says, okay, this is National Weather Service. This is until 8 p.m. Central Time. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Tornado watch for portions of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Primary threats include numerous tornadoes and several intense tornadoes expected, widespread damaging winds and scattered significant gusts to 80 miles an hour likely, widespread large hail and isolated very large hail events to 2.5 inches in diameter likely. A dangerous environment is developing across the watch area. Multiple rounds of intense supercell thunderstorms are expected this afternoon and early evening, with the potential for long-track, strong to violent tornadoes. A few of the storms may also produce very large hail and widespread damaging wind gusts. So this is the situation. The tornado watch area, blah, 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 blah. Tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms in and close to the watch area. Particularly dangerous situation, they say. So that's what we're looking at, and that goes until 8 p.m. Central Time. Lucas Abner says, Spann says his house was hit by the tornado on his Facebook Live. So some viewers said that James Spann, who's a well-known meteorologist, is saying that his house was hit by a tornado.
What up?
Hang on a second here.
We're talking about some tornadoes somewhere in the...
Oh, Pat Kevlin says, look, Birmingham meteorologist James Spann returning on air after checking in with his wife after reporting his house sustained significant damage. The composer he's managed to maintain is unreal.
That's crazy. The meteorologist who's
Thankfully,
telling...
his wife is okay.
The meteorologist who's giving the weather report to the local residents. His house got fucked up by the tornado. he got to report that shit. Oh, in other news, my house just went to shit.
Reach with that. That's from Calvin. Hang on, I need to adjust the AC in here and turn it down. It's a little warm in here. It's a warm day out here in Orlando, Florida. So let me just adjust the air conditioning. And I want to take some more of your comments. I'm sorry, it's been so busy that I haven't gotten a chance to take as many comments.
I wonder where Steve had moved, because if I'm mistaken, he was in Atlanta. When I first started watching the show, he said he was living in Atlanta. And then he did say he was moving. Now he just says it's hot in Orlando, Florida, so motherfucker moved further down south.
If you do send me a photograph, please let me know where you got it. I can't just, if I just get a photograph and I don't know where you got it, I don't know if it's legit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, Deep Exhale sent me this. Breaking news, Helena, Alabama. Look, Helena has received major damage as a result of the tornado. All phone lines to Helena police are down. Call 911 if you need emergency assistance.
What?
So that's Helena. We did, a little while ago, see what looked like a tornado moving through Helena, or near Helena. So they are saying they got major damage there.
And their phone lines are down?
I'll turn the scanner back on. One of our viewers, James, said they were talking about tornado stuff on the scanner. I'll turn it on. I didn't hear much when I was just listening to it before. Major damage in Helena.
George 106.
Sometime it's gonna be. I think this year gonna top that shit. So I picked up a commission real quick. Yeah, they got some new Mars pictures from the new rover they got on Mars. Well, this shit looks crazy, yo. Oh, this shit look crazy as fuck, yo. Just to think people are gonna be living there one day. So the commission I picked up is a pair of Custom Forces. I was just eating them chips. I don't want to get nothing on the crispy whites. No forces, boy, that shit be too wet, boy. Oh yeah. Nice new canvas. Well, this for a girl too, yo. You wanna know what I'm gonna put on it? I'll tell you what I'm gonna put on it. Motherfucking Spider-Man. I gotta get some bigger latex gloves, yo. These are medium, and they're too small for my hands. I still got my watch on. That shit died on me too. That's the only thing about these digital smartwatches. Like, if you don't charge them shits the night before, you fuck. Well, not really. Everybody carry a phone anyway. I think the watch might die after a while. The watch is just kind of I don't know, an accessory. But everybody has a phone. Well, that's what I don't get. Like when rappers be bragging about their expensive ass watches and shit. Be like, that's cool, bro. But technically, like we don't need watches anymore because we got phones now. So it's cool. You just spent, $250,000 on a watch. That's nice. What does it do? Nothing. It just sits there on your wrist. Interesting. Interesting. So anybody else in the South getting affected by these crazy tornadoes?
This person, Stephanie, posts, our yard, not our trampoline. Wow. Was very loud passing over our house. Everyone is safe.
Our yard,
Helena
not our
tornado.
trampoline.
So she says this is not their trampoline, but it's their yard. How about that? Here, look, Helena, damage. Ashley Gooden, near Beef O'Brady's in the Helena area. Let's see what these pictures are. I see some trees down. I see debris on the ground.
Oh, she wore these already. She wore them. There's a little dirt on the bottom. So they have been outside, but you can still tell they're still super fresh though. She probably only wore these shit.
Jonathan Hunter, who says he's a meteorologist, so I'll trust him, he says starting to get traffic signatures from the likely tornado path through Helena, Pelham, Indian Springs Village, Lee Branch, and Alabama. We were watching that on radar. There's confirmed damage in Helena and Pelham from the tornado.
Like I say, you can tell they've been worn one time before, but who pulled their laces so tight like that? Man, that shit look snug as shit, man. It don't need to be that tight. Damn. Make sure these bitches ain't gonna fall off.
this. This person, Darren DeVoe, retweeted this. I can't confirm this, but I'm guessing it's legit. More of Eagle Point, says Kelly McLaughlin. Now, Eagle Point, I assume that's Alabama. There's an Eagle Point Drive. Oh, it probably is here. I don't know if this is what she's talking about, but there's an Eagle Point Drive. I see there was a tornado that went right through this area, Helena Pelham, Indian Springs Village, and I know it was supposedly going through here too. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's talking about Eagle Point Drive. I don't know that for Eagle Point Drive. I don't know that for sure. But she posted this, Kelly McLaughlin.
Listening to some agenda-free TV talking about, like, oh my God, look at
I
this
can't
house right
confirm
here.
this. It looks legit. It looks legit to me. This looks legit to me, and it's the area where a tornado was going. So I would not be surprised if this is real. I can't confirm it, but I would not be at all surprised if this is real.
Yo, Alabama and some other southern states getting fucked up right now with tornadoes. Yo, he just showed a picture of this one house. It's like smash, yo. It's gone. They got some serious tornadoes right now. Shit, smashing houses. Yeah, why she tie her shoes so tight? Shoes ain't gotta be that tight, Shorty. Damn. Alright. I see there's gonna be some custom Spider-Man forces. It's not the best canvas. I keep thinking about custom. I might do that shit this summer because my niece is coming up. My niece gonna stay with me for a couple weeks this summer, so I'll probably go get me and her some Vans and like customize us some all white high top Vans because that shit is just like canvas material, yo. It's like the perfect thing to paint on. This leather is not hard to paint on, but when you customize the forces, it's the unevenness. You know, so you have to paint on 3 and 4 different surfaces because of how the leather is stitched together, so it's not just like a flat plane. And so, just to get an image to look right when you're painting on different surfaces like that, it's kind of tough. But if you've seen custom forces, it's doable and it comes out nice if you just take your time. So, first step done, of course, take the laces out. Second step is to deglaze them. They put well, this has a matte finish on it actually, but you can tell like sometimes they have a higher gloss finish on them. So you just have to deglaze it and take the finish off of the leather before you apply your paints to it. So I might not actually start on these today. I really did want to work some more on this paint right here. And I told my client that I would start these shoes this weekend. And they're cool with that. So, but I'm, taking the laces out and just deglazing it to get it prepped. That's not too much, I may actually draw on them tomorrow evening. She gave me notes. So I have some notes here of what she wants exactly and some reference images that they sent me, so it shouldn't be too hard. But I said I really didn't intend on starting this today, but since I have them, might as well do something to them to get it started. But my main focus right now is this painting. So what else I need to do? Oh, deglaze. Deglaze. So these are some of the chemicals here. The leather preparer and deglazer for professionals. And so this is the first thing the product you use. This is the very first thing is you want to deglaze it. Then you draw your image, you paint whatever you're going to put on there, and then you want to put a finish coat back on it after you take the glaze off of the leather. Once you're finished painting and designing your shoe, then you want to actually put that protective coat back on there. And so you use this acrylic finish. You got matte, you got gloss and high gloss, I think, for these, because they're matte anyway. We'll just use the matte finish and put like 2 or 3 coats of this on there. Then you got some hot ass custom sneakers. Alright, put that there. What I need is, where's my paper towel? Oh. Aha. Somebody could have pointed that out to me.
Cars in the station, Jacksonville, Victor Law, cars in the station, 1013, have a report of a tornado that is heading towards Lincoln, Talladega area at this time. Have a report of a tornado that is heading towards Lincoln, Talladega at this time.
Tornado heading towards Lincoln, Talladega. Okay, that's going to be here. That's here, right here, right here, right here. This is it. This is, that's what they just mentioned, they just mentioned the police. This is Birmingham. It's north, it's east of Birmingham, okay? So the scanner just said they have a report of a tornado heading towards, where is it here? Lincoln. So that's this right in here. That's going to be this. Hang on, let me do this real quick. Let me just get the radar up again. This is Alabama. There's Lincoln. And you're right here. There's the couplet right there. Right here. See the green and the tan? Right there? That looks like a couplet to me. That's strong winds moving in opposite directions from each other, right next to each other. Right in here. Where is Mark says Lincoln is 10 miles from me. Stay safe, Mark Helton, our moderator. So that's where it is. It's between like Ragland and Lincoln. Let me see if I can get some local updates. But we just heard on the scanner they said that they had confirmation of a tornado.
All right, well, you know what? Since the whole shoe isn't going to get painted, I don't think I have to deglaze the whole thing. But the areas that I am going to
tornado is on the ground out on 144 near Ragland.
Tornado on the ground, Alabama 144 near Ragland. Tornado on the ground, Alabama 144 near Ragland. That's here. 144. There's the 144, and Ragland is here. Ragland is a smaller town, about 1,500, 1,600 people live there. But that's not good. That's Ragland, and that's the 144. So they said tornado on the ground near on 144 near Ragland. That's just what they said on the scanner. Okay, and there's Ragland right there. So you're hearing that on the scanner. Tornado is on the ground. Brandon Kopik is streaming from the area. Brandon Kopik is in Lincoln, Alabama. So he might be watching this on livestormchasing.com. Right here. That's it. Mark says it is headed north of me. Stay safe, Mark Helton. Again, tornado on the ground, 144 near Ragland. Is there a debris ball? I'm not seeing a debris ball at the moment on the right, but this is a very concerning. That couplet there, that the red right there, That's not what you want to see. You don't want to see a couplet like that on the left. Looks like it's like just south of Ragland there. Between Ragland and Lincoln. Now if we go to our map, what you see is you have Ragland is here and Lincoln is here. So if we look in between Ragland and Lincoln, you know, there are some houses in there. It's pretty sparsely populated in between. So maybe it can, you know, miss Ragland and Lincoln and go in between them. Then there's this town called Macon right here.
Sheriff's Department and rescue here, all people are accounted for. Just heavy damage trying to clear the roadway at Eagle Point. I'm gonna head back up to 2A and have both crashes.
They said heavy damage in Eagle Point, which they just said heavy damage in Eagle Point, which I think is more towards, there's Eagle Point Drive in Alabama, Eagle Point Drive in Pell City, Alabama. So, yeah, I think they're talking about Eagle Point Drive, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I think they're talking about some place the tornado already went. Okay, so again, there is a this is a confirmed tornado. We've heard it on the radar east of Birmingham, south of Ragland, it looks like. Let me show you here. Yeah, at 2:27 p.m. Central Time, 2 minutes ago, a confirmed tornado.
431 northbound near the 322 mile marker, so they closed the old 431.
2 minutes ago, a confirmed tornado was located near Ragland or 11 miles northeast of Pell City, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Damaging tornado, radar confirmed tornado.
George 130.
Shit not looking good.
PS5 and the Xbox Series X for the past 4 months now. So massive thanks to both Sony and Microsoft for sending these early units. I got a chance to finish a bunch of games on these consoles. I've spent dozens of hours with each, and now I'm ready to give you guys my final thoughts as to which one you should go for. In this video, I'll be covering the design, the controller, games UI, special features, and value, and giving you guys my thoughts on each of these after, again, using these for the past 4+ months. Now, something that I will not be covering, as I've already discussed those in the previous videos. Also, we're giving away a PS5. This box is so gigantic, so this is actually for a giveaway that we're doing. And yeah, if you want to participate in the giveaway, by the way, that's the disc version, so same as this one. All you have to do is to be a subscriber of the channel and follow on Instagram as Tech, and leave a comment on this video saying what is your favorite PlayStation game alongside your Instagram handle so that we can check that you're a follower. The giveaway will end in 4 weeks, so you have a month to enter this, and the winner will be announced in a pinned comment on this video and also on Instagram by a story. But now, without any further ado, just get those snacks ready and enjoy the PS5 versus the Xbox comparison. Starting off with the design, I gotta say, I do actually like both a lot. So the PS5 looks more like a console from the future with its spaceship style design and the LED strip, not even to mention the extreme attention to detail that Sony has given it. The Xbox Series X, on the other hand, looks more strapped into the present but it still has a very modern look. I do like the black monolithic look that it has, as
Why
it's
can't I find
very
this
clean
fucking
and very
Spider-Man
industrial.
image?
I also like the fact that the Xbox looks good in both vertical and horizontal orientation, whereas the PS5 only looks good when it's standing up, as when you put it on its side, the disc version at least looks quite odd. When it comes to build quality, there is no comparison. The Xbox is built like a tank, it feels premium, it screams quality, whereas the PS5 actually feels cheap. The plastic feels flimsy and thin, the glossy middle gets scratched super easily, and yeah, build quality wise, the Xbox takes this one by far. I also like that the Xbox is smaller. For example, I can easily put my Xbox in my TV cabinet, whereas my PS5 barely even fits. So I gotta say, if you count build quality and the size in this design equation, the Xbox Series X takes this one. Moving on to the controllers, I've used both of these quite heavily, and there's absolutely no comparison. The PS5's DualSense controller just obliterates the Xbox controller. First, the DualSense has some absolutely incredible haptics. The Xbox controller just vibrates, but a PS5 controller gives you actual haptic feedback. So this is very similar to how on Android phones you have haptic feedback for when typing, but on the really cheap ones you can hear the vibration motor rattle inside your phone, and the experience is just horrible. But once you get to more high-end ones, the haptic feedback literally gives you the impression that you're pressing actual keys on the display. And it's literally the same thing with the Xbox and the PS5 controller. The best place that you can test this is in Astro's Playroom, which is a free game that can be installed with your PS5. And the haptics are so good that you can feel individual droplets of rain hitting your fingers. Spider-Man Miles Morales does kinda use it to the point where you can kinda feel the punches, but nothing to the extent of Astro's Playroom. Now, the second reason why the PS5 controller is miles better is when it comes to the triggers. So, while the Xbox controller does give you vibration feedback inside the triggers, the PS5 controller also has adaptive triggers, meaning that in some games, the triggers will have different tension levels, and this surprisingly does work in more games than I expected.
After an asteroid struck my yoga studio, Vistaprint helped me pivot to hot yoga, and things have never been better. Certain parts of things have been better.
It works in Astro's Playroom, of course, but also in Spider-Man when you're swinging across New York City, in Black Ops Cold War when you're shooting a gun, and yes, each gun will have a different trigger feel. In Hitman 3, you can feel the tension before you're about to throw a coin or fire a weapon. A lot more games support the adaptive triggers than the haptic feedback, which I found quite interesting. Then third, the PS5 controller also has a built-in speaker, which you might think is pretty useless, but as a matter of fact, it actually adds to the immersion, as you don't necessarily hear the same sound as on your TV, but instead you only hear the sound effects. In Astro's Playroom, for example, you can hear how the droplets of water hit your finger, and then you can also feel them thanks to the haptic feedback. All of that is coming from the controller itself, whereas on the TV, you will hear the storm and the rest of the game music. Also, if you're in a party, you can hear the voice chat through the controller, and you can even respond, because yes, number 4, the PS5 controller also has a microphone, which the Xbox lacks. By the way, you can disable this via the mute button if you want. And number 5, the PS5 controller also has a touchpad, which some games do actually take really good advantage of, and for the ones that don't, it actually acts as a menu button as the touchpad is fully pressable. The Xbox controller has none of that. Number 6, the build quality. Remember how I said that a PS5 is cheap when compared to the Xbox? Well, this is actually the opposite when it comes to controller. The Xbox controller feels to be like cheaper plastic and less refined overall when compared to the PS5 controller. However, there are 2 advantages that the Xbox controller does have over the PS5, and the first one is actually comfortability. So while I do find the PS5 controller to be far more comfortable than the PS4 one, it is a bit too big for my hands and just a bit too fat. The Xbox controller fits my palms perfectly, so I do find it more comfortable because of that. And second, the Xbox controller doesn't have a built-in rechargeable battery like the PS5 controller does, which is actually a downgrade, but in one way, it is actually an upgrade. For example, I'm actually using my old Apple rechargeable batteries. I always have 2 on the charger and 2 in my Xbox controller, and when the controller dies, I simply
So that's what
swap
they
them
want
out,
on the shoe?
and there you go, in seconds, I am ready to go. With a PS5 controller, if I
which
don't have
one?
a spare controller, I have to plug it into a wall
The left
charger
shoe.
that's close to my sofa to be able to continue playing. Now, you do have to buy a rechargeable battery separately for the Xbox controller, but you can also buy Microsoft's own kit, but that one costs £38 in the UK, which is almost the entire price of a brand new Xbox controller in itself. But anyway, overall, the PS5 controller is just light years ahead of the Xbox controller. However, there have been some reported issues with the DualSense controller in terms of stick drift, which you might have heard about. Apparently, Sony used the exact same joystick manufacturer as Nintendo, who also had some pretty big stick drift issues with the Nintendo Switch. There's even a class action lawsuit against Sony on this. Even Josh from our team had some pretty severe stick drift issues on his own controller, so I can confirm that we've had it here too. I obviously haven't on my own PS5 controller, but it is definitely something that you should be aware of. So now, what about the games? Which console has better games? Well, this is where it gets tricky. The games that I played on the PS5 were Astro's Playroom, fully finished it, Spider-Man Miles Morales, fully finished it, like 100%, Black Ops Cold War, fully finished campaign and mostly played zombies after. Hitman 3, this is the game that I'm currently playing. I'm trying to finish all the maps with 100% completion, so yeah, it's a really good game. Now, the games that I played on the Xbox were Forza Horizon 4, I didn't finish this one yet, Zoo Tycoon, so I played this one for probably about 8 hours or so, mostly because I was a fan of the original series, and yes, those were indeed way better. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, this is actually the game that I've played the most overall, so I got about 50 hours of gameplay, which is a lot for me, but that game is massive, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so here's what you need to know. If you care about first-party exclusive games that you can only play on that console, then go for the PlayStation. And that's because Microsoft's policy on the Xbox that you can play Xbox games on your PC too. And if you already have a powerful PC, then there's no point in getting an Xbox. Sony does have some amazing first-party titles such as God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man, Uncharted, Horizon, Ratchet & Clank, and many, many more, which can only be played on a PlayStation. However, at the moment, none of these games are actually exclusives to the PS5, as even the latest Spider-Man Miles Morales game is actually a cross-generation title, which does also work on the PS4. But there are 3 very good PS5 exclusives, indeed, and those are Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, and the upcoming Ratchet & Clank.
It might actually have
those
to
are
do
not
a
playable on the
cutout
PS4 at
first.
all, which means that they can fully take advantage of the PS5
Because this is,
hardware. So if you care about
since
exclusives,
it's an image, I
then
would
go
hate to like
for
constantly
PlayStation.
draw and erase and
However,
draw
if
and
you're
erase.
about
So let me
backwards-compatible
just make a
titles
pattern
and
for
playing
this thing
cross-platform games
and
at
lay
the
it over
highest
there,
possible
so
settings, then go for
I'm
the
not
Xbox.
fucking
For example, on the Xbox,
going
you can
over
not
this
only
shit
play
over and
Xbox
over.
One
I
games,
think I can
but you can
fit it
also play
right
Xbox
here, though.
360 games and even the original Xbox
The only
games.
thing that's
While the
gonna be
PS5
weird
only
is, like,
supports PS4 games. Not only that, but the Xbox
how his arm
sort
is
of acts
sticking
like a
out like
PC,
that.
meaning that if you
Like,
play an
that'd take
Xbox
up.
One game
I don't
on
want
Series
it
X,
to go
it will
like
automatically run at higher
into the
settings than
fabric
when compared
part
to
of
the
the
Xbox
shoe.
One X.
So to
The
get his
PS5, on
arm
the
to
other
come
hand,
up, I would have
will
to drop
require
it down
an update
lower.
for every single game.
But then I
to
don't
run
want to
better.
have to cut
And
off
here's what I
the
mean by
feet
that.
either.
In Call of Duty Warzone, the Xbox Series X ran the game in native 4K at 60 FPS on day one, whereas the PS5 was only 1440p 60. Not only that, but the drawing distance was far better on the Xbox, the shadows were improved, and the texture
how big I
detail
gotta
far
draw this
exceeded the one on the PS5. Keep in mind, this is before any updates. And that's because the PS5 needs an annual patch for these games to take full advantage of their hardware, whereas the Xbox does not. Now, the Xbox did actually get a patch which enabled native 4K at 120 FPS, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the PS5 also got a patch which increased the texture resolution, but the rendering resolution was still kept at 1440p, and the frame rate was still kept at 60. According to developers, this is because the PS5 is still running the PS4 version of the game rather than an actual PS5 version. And because of how the dynamic resolution was implemented in that PS4 version of the game, with checkerboarded rendering, the PS5 just cannot run the game at a high resolution unless it is rewritten with a PS5 in mind. Same thing in City Skylines, where the PS5 was running the game at 1440p or even 1080p to be honest, as it was super blurry, and these were the exact same settings as on the PS4 Pro, but at 60 FPS, same as the PS4 Pro. However, the Xbox was running at native 4K 60. Now, obviously, once developers update their games, the PS5 will match the Xbox, but most of the old games will never get updated. So if you care about playing those games, then definitely go for the Xbox. Now, if you care about current-gen AAA games, then these will actually run better on the Xbox, as this is a far more powerful console. For example, Hitman 3 runs on the PS5 at 1800p resolution, 60 FPS, compared to native 4K 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X, which also uses higher quality shadows when compared to the PS5 version. Not only that, but IR Interactive announced that the Xbox Series X will be getting ray tracing support in a future update, with no word on when the PS5 will be getting this, if ever. So in terms of games, it really depends on what you want. Do you want exclusives? Then go for a PS5. Do you want to play loads of older titles? Then go for the Xbox. Do you want to play current-gen cross-platform games at the highest possible quality? Then also go for the Xbox.
Once the pandemic hit, we had nobody coming into the showroom, so we started doing virtual visits via Microsoft Teams.
Hey, is that TK?
Hi, how are you?
All of a sudden, we could open up our showroom to customers around the world.
So what about the UI now? Which one has a better UI? And here, I actually do think that they both have a lot of work to do. But for me, at least, the PS5's UI is better. And that's because it is far easier to use, the design is more streamlined, and way more intuitive. On the Xbox, you have menus on top of menus, and the fact that you literally get ads on the home screen is just unacceptable to me. Oh, there's no way to actually remove the ads. You can customize the home screen and just have fewer ads, but some ads will always remain. Also, I have a 7.1 sound system, props to LG for saying that over. But if I want to use that with my consoles on the Xbox, I have to literally buy a Dolby Atmos license. On the PS5, on the other hand, my surround system just works. Not only that, but I found that on the PS5, all games support it. Whereas on Xbox, even after buying Dolby Atmos, the license, Assassin's Creed Valhalla still messed up the sound a lot of the times where my rear speakers were not working at all. I never had an issue like this on the PS5. Also, the Xbox UI is 1080p. I have a 4K TV, yet the UI is 1080p. Now, I know that most of you are probably not bothered by this, but when you're playing a super sharp game in full 4K, and then you bring up the UI, it just looks off. Having this low resolution side menu right next to that 4K game, the PS5 doesn't have this problem as the UI is full 4K. But I'll tell you where the PS5 has a serious problem UI-wise. That is when it comes to downloading games. You see, on the Xbox, if you download the game, it will automatically download the Xbox Series X version of it. And if there is no Xbox Series X version of that game, it will download the Xbox One X version, which will automatically run at higher settings. Now, on the PS5, at least at launch, it would actually download the PS4 version by default unless you manually selected the PS5 version instead. Now, I have changed it now so that the PS5 version is downloaded by default, but you can still download the PS4 version on your PS5, which I think doesn't make any sense. You should not be allowed to download a PS4 game that also has a PS5 version on the PS5. And in some games like Hitman 3, which does actually support VR on the PlayStation, you have to download the PS4 version of it, as PS5 games not have native VR support for whatever reason. Also, if you want to chat with your friends on PC, you can do that on the Xbox, but not on the PS5. The Xbox supports third-party voice chat apps such as Skype, which the PS5 does not. The PS5 is the equivalent of Apple, where you have a closed ecosystem, whereas the Xbox is the equivalent of Android, where everything is open and you can do way more things with it. So what about special features? Is there anything that makes each of these consoles unique? Well, the biggest feature by far is Game Pass on the Xbox, which is pretty much Netflix for games. So you pay $10 a month and you get access to hundreds of AAA titles that you can download and play at any time you want. Sony does have PlayStation Now, which is a similar service, but that is mostly for older PS3 games and only a few PS4 games. And it is also a game streaming service, meaning that the quality is heavily downgraded. You can download some games too, but not all of them. and most of them are actually just streaming only, and all the titles are also a bit older rather than literally new releases like we get with Game Pass. With Game Pass, you fully download the games, and when you have games such as Doom Eternal, Forza Horizon 4, Battlefield 5, Destiny 2, FIFA, you don't even need to buy games at all. The Game Pass collection is very strong, and for just $120 a year, also known as the price of buying 2 games, you have access to hundreds of top-tier games to play on the Xbox, which is, I would say, by far the strongest feature of the Xbox and both of these consoles, really. Oh, and if you have an Android phone, you can play all of these Game Pass games on your phone, on the go, with an Xbox.
Better be about that big.
Tonight, I'll be eating a calzone from Bubbles in Aurora. Rock on.
Alright, so I got a little bit of that workout.
Really?
Sure. The monkeys might fly out of my butt. Make it 2 calzones.
The Xbox also has Quick Resume, which lets you quickly go from one game to another, something that the PS5 does not have. Now, the PS5 is super quick at loading games, and it takes about 15 to 20 seconds or so to load one, but the Xbox is faster here, so if you're the kind of person that jumps from one game to another, then the Xbox is a better choice. Now, the PS5 does have VR support, which the Xbox does not, but unfortunately, you need to buy an adapter if you want to use the PlayStation VR, and I've ordered mine. You have to reserve one, you have to place your order for one, which is free. I ordered mine in November, or in February, and I still don't have it. And since you have to download PS4 games to play them in VR on your PS5, it is pretty obvious that Sony doesn't really want you to use the PlayStation VR on the PS5 yet. We know that they're working on a brand new headset, the PSVR 2, which should be launching in 2022 or so. But yeah, if you buy the PS5, it will be VR proof, so to say, but this one will not be. When it comes to storage, the Xbox does offer more, as it comes with 1 terabyte of storage when compared to 825 gigabytes on the PS5. Both consoles support external hard drives, but you can only store previous generation titles there and not current gen, as the current gen games do need that super fast internal storage. You can expand that storage by buying the Seagate expansion drive for the Xbox, or pretty much any M.2 drive that has 5.5 gigabytes per second or higher read and write speeds for the PS5. So the PS5 does have an advantage here. However, adding an M.2 expansion drive is currently not supported in software. This will be added at a later point in time. So in the end, which console is a better value? Well, the PS5 costs $500, which is actually the same price as the Xbox. And for this price, I would recommend getting the Xbox, as with Game Pass you get plenty of games to play, most of which are AAA titles. However, the PS5 also comes in a digital-only version for $400, which removes the ability to play games from disc. But other than that, that is a fully fledged PS5. Now, Microsoft also has another Xbox, the Series S, which retails for $300. We do have one, but unfortunately I cannot recommend it, as it is pretty much a 1080p console in most of the games, and for $100 more, you can get the mighty PS5 Digital, which is significantly more powerful and it is way more future-proof. However, the Xbox does actually have a major advantage in terms of the price, and that is the fact that you can actually get Xbox All Access, where you pay £21 a month.
All right, making some progress. So I got the sneakers deglazed. I made a little template for my drawing. I got some images for references for a custom pair of Spider-Man Air Force Ones, classic sneakers. We've been wearing these things for like 30 years now, and they just won't go out of style. They just won't. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because, some 90 kids made that shit popular, you know what I'm saying? Our fashion from the late 80s and the 90s, motherfuckers still wear that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, no forces, them shits ain't going nowhere. Alright, what I need to do is, next, is to clean off my palette. Bum, 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 bum. Clean my palette off and get some blues and grays on there so I can work on this next set of railing and see how far we can get on this painting in like the next hour or so, guys. This is an after work stream. It's Thursday evening. do have work tomorrow. So let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Closed mouth don't get fed. And the idle mind is the devil's workshop. All right. Palette cleaner. Somebody want to come do this for me, yo? Anybody? I don't care who do it. I don't want to do it. I hate cleaning my palette off, yo. I'm riding around smoking by myself. And you know I do it so well.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right.
Is your price too high?
I like to get comfy. I've been snuggling up, drinking my glass of wine and water and listening.
But is your price too high?
Oh, is my price too high? I thought you said it's my place too high. Sorry.
No, your price too high.
I don't think my price is too high.
Okay. Well, what do you want?
Ultimately, I want a man that's a provider.
Okay.
Willing to work.
Okay.
In the beginning, but when it's time to have children, I do want to be able to stay at home and raise the children.
All right.
So they're able.
How many kids would you like?
Ideally 3 to 4, but right now I would say at the age that I am, maybe 2.
How old are you?
32. Well, I'll be 32 soon.
Okay. So you want to be a traditional housewife?
I wouldn't say ultra traditional.
She already fucked up. She said, I want to work in the beginning, but when we start to have our family, I want to be able to stay home and take care of the kids. And then he said, well, how many kids you want to have? She said, maybe 3 or 4. But right now, just 2. So that means, so 1 kid, how long you going to stay home? Or you want to stop working to raise the kids, right? So you have 1 kid, you're going to be home for 4 or 5 years, right? 4 years until that kid start going to school. But then you may have another kid, so now you got to stay home till that kid can go to school, and then 2 more kids. So you might as well just say, look, after I start having kids, I don't ever want to work again. I don't ever want to have to get back into the workforce. I just want to be a stay-at-home wife and mom. And that's cool. But what do you have to offer for that shit? I don't get that shit sometimes, yo. Because most women I know with kids work. Most motherfuckers I know who got kids still got to work. But ultimately, you want a husband who is a provider. And when y'all start having a family, you don't never want to work again. So you want him to provide for you, him, and 4 kids, and maintain the household all by himself financially.
But somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you want the man to be a traditional provider?
Yes. Ideally, I would like that.
Okay. That sounds like an imbalance.
I don't necessarily think so.
If you need him to be a traditional provider, he's not getting a traditional housewife. What is he getting that's better than a traditional housewife? Because his responsibility is here. What's he going to get that's here or above?
What does a traditional housewife entail?
Well, you tell me. Because you said you're not one. You picked the right one.
Housewife. I'm just imagining kind of being a slave. So that's
Let me stop you right here. Let me stop you right here.
Mm-hmm.
Where are your people from?
My mom's from Trinidad and my dad's from Jamaica. So I see that.
Hold on. We don't need white supremacy racism. Well, all we got is this: that you think that the women who came before you were slaves.
It's not that necessarily, but just what I'm seeing in the media and just all around me. I see women trying to be this housewife for men, traditional housewife for men, and they're just getting like, can I curse?
We're prepared to be challenged on anything you're gonna say, because you tell me the media, I'm like, what you watch. Excuse me? You talking about when women, a woman who's, let's do it. Traditional housewife, what media are you talking about?
So let's, I don't know. Like I said, I want you to define what traditional housewife is.
No.
Because in my mind, traditional housewife is being home.
We can't overtalk me. That's how we don't do that.
Okay.
I said traditional housewife. You said, no, not traditional housewife. All right, so you was thinking of something. And then you talk about, well, from what I'm seeing in the media, I'm asking you what media. You haven't answered any questions. Okay. What media are you talking about?
Social media.
Where do you see traditional housewives in social media?
Everywhere.
Do you?
Well, I mean, that I know of. This one.
Once again, the motherfucker's still not answering a direct question. Still, I hate people who do that shit, yo. I hate people who do that. What is your idea of a housewife? Because you say you're not one. You're not a tradition. You don't want to be a traditional housewife. So you already have an idea of what a traditional housewife is, but you can't explain that shit. You talking about, oh, well, I don't want to be a slave. Is that your concept of a traditional housewife? Well, social media isn't something that's traditional. Social media is something that's relatively new to human society. So what does social media has to do with tradition and being a traditional housewife? And what is your definition of a traditional housewife, which you haven't clearly defined yet? But you know you don't want to be that.
And taking care of and not working, no?
So that's what a traditional housewife is, taking care of and not working.
To me, yes.
Oh, okay. So, and that's getting the shit into the city.
From what I've seen so far, yes. From what I've seen so far, yes. That's why I get your definition of it.
Well, why do you want it? Why do you want a man to take? Then why do you want a man to get out here and work and pay all the bills so you can sit at home?
I didn't necessarily phrase it as that. I said
that's what it is.
Wanted a provider for the
you
most.
wanted to be able to work and you want. I asked the question. So I'm very clear. I asked the question. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant. You want a man to be a traditional provider. I've said it 3 times.
Okay.
But how we get to it, you don't have to want to be the one carrying the financial family load. You want to be provided for it.
Yeah.
And then what is he going to get? Because he's not going to get a traditional wife. What is he going to get?
He's going to get the love and support that I have.
You buy a goddamn dog for that.
Okay.
See, you ladies don't want a fair deal. You ladies want an unfair deal. You want a man to go out and do the things that men always been expected to do since time immemorial. Yet you don't come to the table wanting to even come and act in good faith. You, women like you, I'm talking about you. You come in here talking about a traditional housewife as a slave. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, you leave men alone, go get your girlfriend, go buy a dog and live and die by yourself. I get tired of you women talking about me as though we're something to hurt and abuse shit because you watch fucked up social media stories.
Mm-hmm.
Men are tired of having you put this shit on them. If we talked about y'all like this, you call us toxic. We said different housewives.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I mean. You guys are used to talking about men in some of the foulest ways. And then say you want them.
Okay.
So let's take it down. What do you want to stay home with your kids?
I absolutely do want to stay at home with my kids up until a certain age. Yeah.
Then where are they going to go after what age?
I was thinking maybe kindergarten.
And if you have 4 children, that means you'll be out of the workforce for at least 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. You see, It took them a long time to get to that point, but that's what I automatically assume. Like, you say you want 4 kids and you don't want to work while you raising your kids. So you might as well just say, oh, after I have kids, I don't ever want to go back to work. Because you're going to have kids going to school at different times, and then you want to have 4 of them, so you ain't going to have, unless you get lucky and have some or something. Like, your kids going to be going, like, staggered in age. And so, like you said, it'll take you fucking 12, 13 years to get all of your kids into school and of age where, you know, at least the oldest one can babysit or all of them know what's going on. They're not gonna fucking run out in the street and dumbass shit like that, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't ever want to work while your kids are young. You're trying to raise your kids. Yo, that's decades. Like, I don't know. And now she hears herself and she's like, As soon as he said, oh, so that's like 12 years, she's like, Yeah, exactly. You don't want to fucking work for 12 fucking years? You must be I don't know.
I want your kids.
I absolutely do want to stay at home with my kids up until a certain age. Yeah.
Then where are they going to go after what age? At least 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for a living?
I'm currently a flight attendant.
Flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So, being gone out of the workforce for 10, 12 years, think you're going to go back to be a flight attendant at 50?
It's possible, but ideally I would.
Right. So in other words, your husband, if you have 4 kids, he would have to carry the load because even if you sent the kids away to school after the youngest is in kindergarten, you just sitting at home by yourself. Ain't that something? As I said, so like I said 10 minutes ago, why does he have to go out and work and you get to sit on your butt at home? That don't sound like slavery to me. That sounds like luxury.
Yes. The way you put it, yes, it does.
Not the way I put it. We just talked through your example.
That's not the way you put it. It's the way it fucking is, yo.
I can think of that viewpoint. But I also had a question before we go further.
I want to answer, but I didn't get to answer my questions about this scenario.
Okay.
Do you have a cookbook?
Do I have a cookbook?
No.
No, but
so you can't cook. So basically,
who said that?
I said that you can't. A woman who can cook. I come from cooking people. Women, see, traditional housewives understand that their province is the home.
Yes.
This is what I mean. So what I mean is, you can follow recipes. That means somebody else has to decide what the food for your family is.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing is the food for the family, and you can't even be responsible for that. Someone else has to do it. You will follow it. So why don't your husband go get the woman who made the recipe?
Okay.
What do you bring into the table?
That's a valid point.
So this is what I mean.
That's a valid point.
Nothing.
You ladies don't even bring
nothing. Not even the original recipe, nigga. Nothing.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Well, you don't even bring the basic stuff. It's like,
okay.
You're you had 4 kids, you'd be the 5th one.
So what are the basics? This is what I really want to know. What are the basics for you?
Well, first of all, good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Good faith. First of all, I think you need to go back and understand. understand what it means to be a woman and a wife. Because if you come in through saying slave, I really got nothing to talk about when we say shit like that.
I think you need to hear where I'm coming from, but I want you to continue before I explain that.
Go ahead.
No, I want you to continue before I explain.
Well, but coming from a place of good faith, meaning that a man is something to be valued.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that the most important duty or responsibility a woman has on the planet is her children and her family. You don't want to have anybody else raising your kids, feeding your kids. You're supposed to take pride in these kind of things.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be proud about it.
Mm-hmm.
Calling the recipe used to be insulting to women. They made their own recipes, but that's what women taught each other how to cook. So you're supposed to write in recipes to recipe books, not just looking on the back of a box. But you didn't. But sadly, many women today don't know how to do this stuff. You went to school, you got an education pretty much like a guy that was gender neutral, and you're out here working. And then you want a man to come along and do what men have done for hundreds of years, but you're not even qualified to do what the women you used to call slaves did with joy.
I'm not calling them slaves necessarily.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm just saying that depending on who they're married to.
Oh my
God! You can give me all the horror stories.
They were slaving.
Okay, who?
I can say that my mom was slaving. I can say that my mom had slaved for my dad.
Let me ask you a question.
She was working full time.
In this country, when a man and woman break up in this country, what percentage of their time do women leave financially devastated?
I don't know.
They don't. Men are the ones that leave financially devastated.
Furry slippers.
90% of the time, custody goes to the wife. Half of the man's stuff that he had before. You need to go get familiar with it. This is why so many men are avoiding marriage, because women today are filing. We have a 50+% divorce rate, and women file divorce 8 to 9 times out of 10. It's because women have a financial incentive to file for divorce. When I don't look at Hollywood marriages, but you don't typically see women going to move back in with their mother because their husband got the home and the kids. This happens all the time with men. So, but your mother had the slavery. Is your mother slave to your father?
She is.
Chilling.
Would she call herself a slave?
I don't know. I would ask her, but
How long did they marry?
About 32 years. They got married right before they had me.
Thank you very much. See, what you said to me, what reminds me of so much of what happened with generation.
Been married for 32
silent
years.
Generation and baby boomers. The baby boomer generation, my mother's generation, looked down upon their mother and their grandmother's generation because they had to slave for their husbands and do all sorts of kind of stuff. And then they realized that when they got to be later in life, that they had failed as women. They realized that every other generation of women up to them had done their jobs. They were the generation that spent all the money, sold the family houses. They're the most selfish generation that ever lived. And the ones that are still alive will tell you, we have failed as women because they're my parents. They made a generation harder women and softer men, all because they looked upon what their mothers did as being beneath them, because they got a little funky piece of education, a little bit of government assistance, and were told that you were better than your man in the civil rights struggle. The only group of women that actually looks at the women past them as fools. But yet, now you make more money, you're more educated than the previous groups of women, you have more options, opportunity, you're freest than ever been, and you're the most unhappy group of black women that exists.
I don't feel that way because
The stats say that though. Okay. You don't feel that way. The stats say that though. 1 in 4 of you will marry in a lifetime. Okay. You said I don't want to be a slave, and you said basically you said your mama's slave.
Yes, because I see that.
This is just a personal piece. Just trying to get ready for some shows coming up. I did a lot of commission work the last part of last year and the first part of this year, like I banged out like 6 or 7 commission paintings in a couple months, and I wasn't really able to work on any of my own art. So for the month of March, I just took a break from accepting commission works just to focus on these paintings right now. So I was able to finish that painting that's hanging up there, the girl in the water. So I got that painting finished a couple weeks ago, and now I'm just trying to work my way through this painting. I got like half of it done, so what I want to do is, like you see, I just cleaned off my palette. It's nice and clean. So I'm gonna get some blues and grays on here and start working on this half with the railings, and try to start detailing the railings and this little bit of building you can see back there. But most of this side is done. Like the sky, I don't know. I might add like some really bright highlights in the clouds, make them pop a little bit more. Maybe a little more highlights in her hair, but I worked on that for like 2 days, so it's pretty wet. I don't want to like make it muddy looking, so I'll let that dry before I work on it again. And there's a little detailing to this her strap right here, so I'll add that. But for the most part, like this part is done. I don't think I'm gonna do anything else to these railings or this little building back there. But yeah, you can't always work for everybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? So I had to turn down some dollars this month. I had a couple people coming at me for painting commissions, and I just told them like I don't have the time. I need to focus on my own shit. But I did recently pick up the iPad Pro 10.5-inch screen with the Apple Pencil, and even though I haven't accepted like painting commissions, I did accept a few logo designs just because I wanted to really practice on using this new medium to draw and create art. So I did sell like 3 logos this month. So just really simple stuff. So here's one logo I did. Dang, I forgot what the PR stand for. It's not public relations, trust me. Here's another logo I did. And then one more. This goes this way. I did this little logo. Expeditious Lee. Yo, I have a Twitch shit, yo. Nobody don't watch my Twitch stream, yo. Look, I'll end this stream right now and start up a Twitch stream. Ain't nobody gonna come in that bitch, man. So I did those 3 logos. Here's a little thing I did. The hip hoptopus. Might put that on some t-shirts. I did a painting of my girlfriend. I just did like some stupid ad. I seen this one ad, and then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take that and switch it from like Newports to new support. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas need a new support, man. And put them cigarettes down and find a new support. I don't know. It's corny, but I think it's funny. And then I was working on some ideas for these custom shoes that I'm working on now. So, been doing a little bit of this digital stuff, but mostly just sticking with my traditional oil paints. I'll probably play around on that tablet a little bit later on tonight. This guy. I get it. So, yeah, that's the thing too, like, it's different, bro. Like, drawing on that tablet, it's definitely different. And I'm really not used to that shit yet. It seems like it takes me longer to draw stuff on there. It takes me longer to draw stuff, but it's easy to color stuff on there. And I think the best thing I like about it is, like, when you erase, there's no eraser dust. But I swear to fucking God, I swear to God, I've done this shit like 10 times where you, like, erase something and I do that and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, it's just like the weirdest fucking thing. Like, I have brushed away eraser dust my entire life, and now I erase, and there's no eraser dust, and it's just like, then why did I wipe the screen? And it's just this old ingrained habit of erase and wipe. It's the weirdest fucking thing, yo, and I can't stop like when I do it sometimes, it's like I can't. It's so unconscious. I laugh at myself when I do that shit. It's just the stupidest thing, yo. Yo, old force of habit, yo. There's no lead, there's no rubber, it's nothing to wipe off, and you just like, shit, it's a dummy. And that's it. That's the point right there. Did you have fun while you was doing it? Did you enjoy yourself while you was coloring and scribbling and painting and using different brushes on that shit, man? That's the whole point. Some people call that shit self-care. Riding around smoking by myself. Hey, you know I do it so well. Alright. What I was gonna do, blues and grays, which is blue and white and black, and a little bit of brown. Let's get these colors. Blue, black, white, brown. That's what I'm looking for. That's all I need right now.
I see and hear the way that my father treats my mother, and I know that she deserves better.
Oh, you need to stay in your place. You need to stay in your place.
In my place how?
As a child. That's your mama, but that's his woman. You need to stay in your place. And that's one of the main problems we have in the black community. We got kids judging grown relationships. You don't have any children, do you?
No, I don't have any children yet.
Well, that's my point. Mm-hmm. You're judging your mother and father from a kid's standpoint. Mm-hmm. Not that there's individuals. You don't know what your mama does behind closed doors to your daddy, but your mama knows knows enough to have her ass in the marriage. Mm. She got more than you do.
What's that?
A husband.
Okay.
How many siblings you got?
I have 4 stepbrothers, half brothers, and one like other brother. We have.
How many children your mother had?
All 6 of us.
How many children do your father have?
Just the 2. Well, now.
So, hold on.
Now.
So let's start. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. Your biological father?
Yes.
Went with your mother and raised kids from another man?
Yes.
No.
later on.
Ma'am, I don't need your interpretation. The biology is all I'm concerned with.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother had children from another man?
Yes.
How many men?
My mother had children from another man. 2 other
One?
men.
2 other men. So your mama has 3 baby dads.
Like my father.
So she's reproduced with 3 men.
Yes.
So your father accepted your mother, who had reproduced with 2 other men, and she hadn't been married to those men, right?
Correct.
Right. He sounds like a goddamn superhero as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, Lord.
Look, man, I don't normally do this. I'm about to end this stream. I'm about to end my stream right now. After an hour and almost a half of being in here, I'm about to end this stream and start a Twitch stream. Yo, if you don't come in my Twitch stream, I know people, man. I'm gonna hack your IP address. I'm gonna get your home address. I'm gonna knock on your door, and we gonna have a conversation about why you ain't come in my Twitch stream. Don't make me go through the motions. You know what I'm saying? I be loving this dude, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything he says, but what he does is break things down to the simplest, not your interpretation, but what it is. Your mom and dad been married for how long? 30 years? And she had 2 baby daddies before he met her? And he still raised those kids and had more kids with her and married her? And you talking shit about your dad. Like, that's crazy. Oh, you laughing. Y'all better come in this damn Twitch stream. Y'all, hey, shit ain't funny. I'm going to Twitch, man. We gonna have 2 people in there.